During my time being looked after, I moved houses a lot. Sometimes my stays were only meant to be temporary. Sometimes I just couldn't settle. Sometimes I didn't get on with my carers, and sometimes they didn't get on with me. But finally, I found the right carers. I loved it here. Not only was I happy, but really felt part of the family.
When I moved to a new home, I really missed my sister and best friend Marco. They were a long way away, so I couldn't see them, and I wasn't even sure if I could call or email them. So I spoke to my social worker Debbie, and together we made a plan that I could not only keep in touch via email, Skype, letters and phone, but best of all, she even organised a trip so I could go and visit my sister. And my best friend ever, my dog Marco.
When I first became looked after, I was asked to have a health check. I was really worried about this, as I didn't know what it might mean. I was also asked to meet a specialist, to see if I might need any special help or advice because of all the things I've been through. That made me really worried about what sort of things they might ask me. But there was nothing to be worried about. They just did a few checks about my general health and well-being. It wasn't embarrassing or anything. In fact, it was just great to be able to talk to someone about the things I was worried about.
It wasn't that I was unhappy with the foster carers I was living with. It was just that, well, I sometimes found myself confused about who I actually was. Where had I come from? What did the future hold? So, with the help of my foster carer and social worker, I started to keep a record of my life, not just my baby pictures, but all the fun things I'd done and places I'd been. It was my life story book, and meant that whenever I found myself uncertain or confused, I could always pick up my scrapbook and remind myself of my hopes and dreams. And many years later, I was able to share that scrapbook and those memories with another young person.
I was just waiting for the right time to tell my schoolmates that I was being looked after, and hoped the teachers didn't point me out before I was ready to tell them. I dreaded the thought of being singled out. But I didn't need to worry. My school has a designated teacher whose job is to take responsibility for looked after children in my school. And the teacher also gave me advice on what to tell my friends and how to explain my situation. My designated teacher has been a great help to me at school. She's helped me with all kinds of things. She got me a tutor when I was struggling, and she told me about homework club, as I really didn't like homework. She also gave me help filling in forms and applying for grants when I wanted to go to university. It seems like she's helped me with everything. Well, maybe not quite everything.
When I was 18, I was helped to find a flat. My flat. I didn't like the decorating, but it would do for now. I'm on my own, I'm independent. Party time! However, I quickly realised that the last thing I wanted to do was to lose my flat before I'd even really moved in. And then there were all the bills to pay too. But with a bit of common sense, careful budgeting, and help from my leaving care worker, I soon got on top of them. And I even managed to save enough money to paint over that wallpaper.